old Brandon Stanton lost his job, so he decided to follow his passion for photography. He walked the streets of New York, taking pictures of people and posting their stories on what we now know as one of the most successful social media pages, Humans of New York. I met another person very interesting on one of my treks to the Annapurna base camp. This lady, she was 78. I was amazed at her strength, at her agility, and I mean, it was just really surprising and very inspiring again to see somebody who's 78 who wanted to do this. She was trekking probably for the first time in her life, but she just said she just had this passion to do it, to make it up to the Annapurna base camp. And believe you me, it was not a very easy trek. But seeing her there, I think it just infused all of us. And I told her, I wish I can be like you when I'm your age. I met another gentleman on the same trek who's 75. Again, very agile, very active. So what does this tell us actually? That is there really anything as old when it comes to following one's passion, or when it comes to starting following one's passion? Never before in the entire human history have we had a society which has been more focused on this idea of following one's passion. In the previous eras, most of us were focused on making just about enough money to look after our families. We used to think of jobs or vocations just as a means to an end. But today, things have evolved. We have evolved to a state where happiness no longer lies in just meeting one's financial needs. Success is not defined by just how much money you make, but it is about how happy or fulfilled your life is. This is the age of the individual and what she or he can do. In eras gone by, we conferred the title legendary upon warriors, powerful statesmen, but now this title goes to innovators, creators, entrepreneurs, people who follow their passion to build something new that has an incredible effect and a positive impact on people's lives. So yes, today we are living in a world full of opportunity. On the flip side, of course, this leads to an immense pressure on each one of us to find our passion and then to face the challenges to make a success out of it. But that brings us back to the main topic. Are we too old to start following our passions? So I personally believe that age is no bar to follow your passion, to start following your passion. And success does not have a deadline. But yes, following one's passion does have a timeline. It does require a certain appetite for overcoming failures. It requires unwavering focus. It may not always be synonymous with financial success. And the other thing which is very important is that your passion itself may evolve. It may change with time. It may change as you grow older. So coming to the first point, passion and timeline. So like I said earlier, success does not have a deadline, but it has a certain timeline between finding your passion and making it work for you. No one has ever become an overnight success. In these days of digital virality, we need to remember that these success stories are a carefully crafted narrative, which we conveniently buy into a form of wish fulfillment. The primary ingredient for success is always hard work and not passion. Passion is the fuel that you use to power yourself through those difficult challenges, through those long nights, hard days, where you hone your abilities as well. Hustle, as they call it nowadays, is another very important companion for passion. It's not enough just merely to be passionate about something. You have to hustle, bring together all the resources and opportunities you need to transform your passion into a success. Another key fact about this timeline for success is that it is unique to you. Some find success right out of the gate when they set out to follow their passion, while others take decades. How long you will take is just unique to your own journey and the nature of the work you're doing. Malcolm Gladwell has a very interesting podcast called Revisionist History, which I listen to sometimes, and he examines regular topics from a different perspective. So in a podcast on the role of time and iteration in creating genius, he says that genius takes time. Economist David Gallinson has a theory about this, and he says there are two kinds of genius. One kind, which is conceptual innovators, where he says people who do their best work early on in life. They tend to work quickly, and they have very specific ideas that they want to communicate, and they can articulate those ideas very clearly. Picasso, he's a fine example of this. He burst on the scene in the early 20s, and electrified the art world at the end of the last century. And then there are the experimental innovators. When they start off, they don't know where they're going, they don't know what they're doing. They work their way up by trial and error, and they make endless drafts. They take years of iterations to create their work of genius, but they get there. The French artist Cézanne is a great example of this. Every bit as famous and important a painter as Picasso, maybe the greatest of the Impressionists, who reinvented modern art in Paris in the late 1800s. But he used to take years on end to create that finished product of that painting. So the same theory applies to entrepreneurs as well who are following their passions. Follow your path diligently and your time will come. Meanwhile, it helps if you don't compare yourself to others, and most importantly, don't give up because you're not getting there as fast as the others. Jack Ma was in his early 40s by the time he became the business icon that he is today. The second point, passion and failure. Talking about not giving up, another vital companion that passion needs in order to succeed is the ability to overcome failure. It takes a certain amount of bravery to be able to jump off the cliff of uncertainty and rise on the wings of failure. It needs that one leap of faith. And this bravery comes from having an appetite to survive failure. You won't be afraid of falling when you know that you will simply rise again. You have to have that faith. Colonel Sanders, who founded KFC and its unique recipe, only found success at 60, by which time he had been rejected 1,009 times, as the stories say. Jack Ma was rejected from 30 different jobs he applied to and was rejected from Harvard 10 times. That's the kind of mental fortitude that passion needs, no matter how old you are. In fact, I do believe that when you're an older entrepreneur, you're already at an advantage because you're already seasoned by life experiences. You have the wisdom of age and the resilience to failure that comes with it. Combine your passion with it and the will to survive any challenges that come your way, and age will not stand in the way of your success. The third point, passion and focus. Like I mentioned earlier, following your passion means having an unwavering focus. I particularly understand the challenge of having focus because life is not a linear journey. It is not so easy just to say that this is the passion and I'm only going to follow this and do absolutely nothing else in life. It doesn't happen like that. So you may have identified your passion, but you don't have the bandwidth to focus on it fully. Some people can focus on their passion and then go on to other things in life, and other people do it the other way, where they first choose to complete and fulfill all their other familial responsibilities or set up in their life before they take the plunge to follow their passion. And then there are others who try to do it all together themselves. So again, I believe that there is no right or wrong approach. It just depends on what works for you and how you think you can balance it out. But choose a path that allows you to follow your passion without missing out on the other important parts of life, like family, relationships, health, etc. The important thing to remember is, and it's what Dolly Parton said, and I totally resonate with it, don't get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life. And next point, passion and money. I'm looking at a room full of entrepreneurs and business people, and we're talking about following passion. At this point, I think it's important to talk about the question that you all might be thinking, that what if my passion is something that I cannot turn into a business? Sometimes you may be very good at a particular business, but that may not be your true passion. That may not be your true calling. Most of us are quite practical in thinking that we'd rather not give up a business that makes good money to follow a passion that will most likely not lead to may not lead to financial insecurity. So not every passion comes with a business model. Not every passion leads to a billion-dollar business empire. Sometimes, however, there are other kinds of impact that may be important to you, like touching people's lives, changing the world, or something as simple as making somebody smile. The Japanese have a very interesting concept called ikigai, which means your reason for living. So you can see that in the center is the main part, is the focus of ikigai. And this, it says that to be truly happy and fulfilled, you need to do 4 things in life. Something that you love to do, which is your passion. Something that the world needs. Something that you're good at. And something that you can get paid for. So that means it's a passion. What the world needs is a mission. Something that you're good at is vocation. And something that you can get paid for is profession. When all 4 converge, which means that if you can find something where you find that all 4 are converging, that is your ikigai, and that is your reason for living. Not all of us may be blessed or fortunate to have that. You may find certain things which are falling into 2 circles. It's like a Venn diagram. But you got to try and think and contemplate what is that thing that drives you, which is going to be at the center of that, which is ikigai. It's okay if your passion and profession are different, because that may happen for a lot of us. But as long as you accept that there is a place for both in life and then balance it out, you will be as close to ikigai as possible. So finding out what your ikigai is and what is that unique combination of all 4 elements is important. And again, I don't think this has anything to do with age. I don't think age is a bar. I don't think age is a limitation. The evolving passion. So far, we've been talking about following your passion in singular. But does this mean that you have to have the same passion all through your life? So psychologists say that passion, or what drives you, can change over time because one evolves, a person grows, and so also on that same path, your passion may also grow, your passion may change, your passion will evolve. Most older people will relate to the fact that you may be passionate about something in your 20s, but by the time you get to your 40s or your 50s, your passion has totally changed, because this is a sign of you growing as an individual. In the years leading up to the start of his visionary company, Apple, Steve Jobs was passionate about spiritual enlightenment, Western history, Eastern mysticism, and even dance. His passion for technology evolved much later. So in conclusion, I'd just like to share a few moments of my own experience trying to follow my passion. So in my younger years, I thought that my passion was in the field of performing arts, of coordinating, facilitating, bringing performing arts to the fore. But it was only much later that I realized that my ikigai, or my reason for being, was to use my resources to help people around me to be the best versions of themselves. So what is it that drives me? What is my passion? So what drives me is to touch people's lives in a positive and impactful manner. And I found my calling, in order to get my passion going, I found my calling in the field of education and mental health. And through that, I try and reach out to many more people to make them smile and to make a positive impact in their lives and to touch their lives. Of course, along the way, there were many challenges and failures. One continues to keep facing challenges in day-to-day life, but particularly in education, very early on, there were some, now in hindsight when I think, wrong decisions, which led to not very positive outcomes, some public failures too. But that's okay, because you got to keep trying, which is what I did, tried over and over again. And now I'm really proud of the educational institutions that we've been able to set up and the amazing people who've joined me on my mission in mental health as well as education. So for me, the ikigai, my passion at the moment, by the grace of God, ticks all the boxes and leads to the ikigai, which I feel is my reason for being. I still try to also follow my passion for trekking and skiing, which again I started very late. Like I was saying earlier, even my other passion was, I was a late starter. I started very late on in life, but I don't think age is any bar, and I think you can just start from wherever you take off. And I'm sure that as the years go by, I will probably take up other passions in other fields as well. But in all these passions, what I really try to do is my focus. I try to find a balance between everything in life because balance is, I believe, the key. It's not always easy. It is an uphill task. It is a juggle. But then life only begins at the end of your comfort zone. So I think at this point, we can all say a resounding no to the notion that age has something to do and that age is a limitation. I think there are 5 reasons that you should follow to follow your passion no matter what. Just to sum it up for you. 1, life is short, but memory is long. So follow your passion and make a great life story to be remembered by. I strongly believe in carpe diem, which means seize the moment. So seize every moment that you have, make the best of every day that you have. Give yourself a sense of purpose in this vast universe. Follow your passion to make your own luck and forge your destiny. 3, you will spend around 1/3 of your life hours on work. So in case if your work and passion do not coincide, then follow your passion to make sure you enjoy your work so that you can balance out the time spent working. Number 4, anything you do with passion will have a cascading impact. Following your passion and you will change the world in some way or the other. And lastly, if nothing else, following your passion will definitely make you a better person. Quick to survive failure, you will laugh more, love harder, and be fearless in the face of fear. So I hope that wherever you are in your life, you find passion and the path to success and happiness. Here's wishing you all the best and all the luck on your journeys to follow your passion. Thank you very much for having me here, and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Birla, for your inspiring words. Ma'am, we request you to please stay back for a while. Any questions? Sure.
I think that was one of the most wonderful speeches I've ever heard, Mrs. Birla. So thank you very much for actually taking the time. And I think you're right. We need to find our ikigai to discover ourselves more fully. And the fact that, you can do it today at any age, and you've done it, when much later in life, says a lot about you and says a lot to other people who want to find this passion later in life. So my one question to you would be that what challenges were it that you saw? I mean, I know it's not easy going out of the comfort zone, while we all would love to do it. But what were the challenges you faced, and how did you sort of mentally prepare yourself to say, to hell with it, and I'm just going to do what I want to do?
So I think one faces challenges on various fronts, because there's not only one role that you are performing in life. So on your professional side, there are challenges that we all face being entrepreneurs, which I think we all are very well aware of. Those are professional challenges which you just got to deal with on a day-to-day basis and just try and figure out what is the way forward, because that's the only way that you can grow. I think for me also personally, because you're also in the role of a mother, you're also a wife, you're also a daughter-in-law, you're also a daughter. So there are very multiple roles that you are performing. And I think on the personal side, the challenge always is, I think, how do you balance out your various roles? You don't want to, I'm a very hands-on mom, and that's my first priority. Having said that, this is my passion as well. So I think juggling between those two is what is most, I think, challenging. But I think my children are very, very supportive and very encouraging. So that really helps, because there are times when, like for example today, so it's my daughter's first day of high school. It's a big day for her. And ideally, I would have liked to be with her. But of course, because we had this, so she was the one who told me, no, you must go for it. So, things like that. There are everyday, very, very small challenges that you face on a daily basis. But I think you've got to just keep juggling, and at that point in time, prioritize and take a decision and move forward.
And I mean, do you feel that the fact that they support you and they would tell you to sort of, go forward to it, what does it sort of do to you mentally? I mean, does it give you a reason to sort of go and pursue your passion even in a better way? And I mean, not just for yourself, but I mean, for Indian women at large, I mean, how can, the families be more supportive for them to come out and be able to find their passion?
I think that's really very important. I think in our Indian setup, all said and done, families are very, very important. So it is a very different culture from the Western world. So recognizing that our families are very important, it's very important that our families support us. So in my case, I've been very fortunate that my children have been extremely supportive. And they've always told me that you must go out there, and they are really proud of what I'm doing. So I think that itself is very encouraging for me. So I think even by and large, if families can be supportive of the ladies, maybe very small things, just maybe a little bit help in some of their responsibilities, shoulder some of the responsibilities. I think we're going towards, and we must go towards an equal, I think like an equal responsibility system at home, because I think even the women have every right to be following and to be wanting to do what they want to do. And until that support doesn't come from home, it's really very difficult. So I think as Indians and as families, if you can support the lady at home to go out there and to do what she wants to do, I think it'll really go a long way.
Thank you very much for, I think, sharing that. It's so important, as we grow. And it's not just that. I think what one eventually needs to do and realize as a couple, as a family, is that all of us need to work. It could be commercially driven or it could be purpose driven, but that's very important eventually. Thank you very much, Mrs. Birla. I think it's been wonderful that you came here and you spoke to all of us. We'd love to have you here. And of course, we look forward to having you here in many other occasions to educate us more. Thank you very much.
Please accept a small token of respect from our end. Please give it up for Ms. Neerja Birla. Thank you so much. A great pleasure and privilege to have you amongst us. Thank you so much.